Yeah, but at least it puts them and applies the pressure now to Wigan if they can force the error.
You're looking now at, I think, the second favourites to get to the grand final and lift the trophy in the Wigan Warriors, playing against a team that look like they might finish bottom of the table, bottom of the Super 8s. What are you expecting from Wigan in the second half? I mean, you need them to show their credentials.
I think they will. I think they'll run away with it, especially late in the game, because you know, these youngsters, inexperience, they've put a lot of effort into it, and I think they'll run out of petrol. But it'll be interesting in the opening 15 minutes.
And that's what we're in right now, the second minute of the second half. Bateman carries the battle forward again. Tongo is in there with Houghton.
Sorry, they need to find a way, don't they, of stopping players like John Bateman, making 5 metres after the first defenders hit them. They've done well, haven't they, to only be 8 points behind. I'm not sure that the scoreline accurately reflects the flow of the game. Wigan had so much possession, brilliant field position, they haven't converted it into a bigger lead yet.
High kick this from Matty Smith. It's knocked backwards, but it's into Hull's arms, so that's all right as far as Hull are concerned. The temptation always to call them the black and whites, but you've got to call them the purple and blacks tonight. Oh, there's a mistake by Minicello of all people. Free play, they'll bring this back for the original knock-on. Curtis Norton getting to it just in time. Mark Minicello with the error deep inside his own half of the field.
Yeah, I suppose if they had the extra opportunity to say, well, they should have kept hold of this ball and just taken it up nice and steady. Wasn't the best, was it? Pass wasn't all that good.
Oh, there's a Hull player injured down in the corner, so it's Jack Logan. They don't want him off the field. Let's go down to Angela, get the half-time news.
Well, we'll start with Sean Wayne, and as you predicted, he wasn't a very happy person for that first half. He said it was a poor finish to the first half, good and patient before then, but just switched off with it before the end, which he says was very disappointing. He wants to make sure they play for the full 40 minutes this half. Now, Lee Radford, on the other hand, knows that for the first 10 minutes at least, Wigan are going to come out and throw everything at this team, so they've really got to batten down their hatches and make sure that they can defend it all. Very happy with the way they ended the first half, but they've got to keep defending with the same intensity, which they're about to start doing now. Word about Tom Lynham, he's all patched up. He won't be playing this second half.
So they're down to 16 men here tonight, the team from the KC Stadium, and they have some defending to do here, and that could have been deemed to have been a penalty as clubs struggle to get to his feet. Hampshire gets it away to Tompkins. He stands in the tackle, gives it then to Lee Mossop. Mossop takes on Minicello, nearly gets through as well. And there is Tom Lynham. He cuts a disconsolate figure on the sideline, doesn't he? Nasty eye injury as Smith feeds young Hampshire, takes the return, and they're lined up this way. This is one for Charnley to get, maybe. No, good work by Norton.
Yeah, took it in the field of play, certainly took it, did well there. The winger Norton, neat little kick there, wasn't it? Matty Smith putting the pressure on, so was Charnley, but you can see he clearly took it from the field of play. There's to be a dropout.
It was great defence from Hull FC, and that said, at one stage Wigan looked like they were going to go left, shifted the ball back to the right behind the ruck, tried to catch out any Hull FC defenders on their left that might have switched off on the play. They didn't. They stayed up, they stayed alive, they shut the play down, and they forced Matty Smith into a kick at the end, which you would be happy to receive at the end of each set. Let's see what Jordan Abdul can do here. Can he get the ball far as he can down the field, get a big chase, and repel the attack again?
Well, it's to the 40-metre mark where Smith picks it up and gives it to Clubb. He bounces straight into Matango's chest. And down he goes on the first tackle. And Massey is deemed to have been too slow to get off him.
Well, the official, James Child, was screaming at him to release him, failed to do that.
So more pressure coming in then on this Hull defence. Mossop just inching his way forward after the initial contact. Powell is there at dummy half, the 10 metres out. Here is Bateman. Bateman skips away from one. But then they come back. Turgott gets off the ground and helps out the other two. Plays the ball, does Bateman to Powell. That finds Williams. Williams then a short pass. And Connor Farrell. Can he stay inside the field of play? No, he can't.
That's great defence. And you can see they got the numbers there.
They were shot to pieces though, Mike, you're right. The cavalry came. Wigan saw something they liked to their left, flicked the ball out. Good decision by Rankin, lock him up, and then you see them all pile in. About 6 in the end. Great play defensively.
Yeah, you'd have to say that the two Hull centres, Logan and Rankin, they really have impressed me tonight. That was a silly penalty to give away. As soon as you grab on the inside, you know you're going to be penalised. It's as simple as that. He's been around long enough to understand that. And it's little things like that, okay? They probably feel confident that they can still go on to win this, Wigan. But when it comes to crunch time, the business end of the competition, Eddie, you can't afford to be doing things like that.
Nicky Payer, he beat the Flying Tony club. And he's anxious, Sean Wayne, that his men push on and put a big score on in the second half. But it won't be easy against this enthusiastic Hull side. Rankin with that run. Big Abdul gets it away to Mark Sneed. Sneed with a little drop of the shoulder and then dances away from a couple. Oh, and then the mistake. The mistake comes in from Downs.
We've seen Hull twice, haven't they? When a player starts to run towards the sideline rather than the try line and throws a pass, the difficult ones to take. The last two Hull players have been unable to catch it. Once in their own half, here in the opposition half. Johnson Turgott put the ball down here.
Yes, it was Turgott, it wasn't Downs. My mistake, apologies for that.
There's a puzzle, isn't there, Phil? When they're running across, do you hit a hole or do you drop under him? That's the problem that happened with Minicello and happened with Downs on that occasion. If the ball player is not making it obvious, you've got to guess. They guess wrong on both occasions.
I think you need to halve the weighting of the pass as well. If you are going to throw it to a player, you have to throw it far softer than you would throw a normal pass. It's too difficult for the player to catch. And now, see what Hull are like. Just tap the ball in the wrong place. That should be, we're applying the rules.
So it's Wigan again on the front foot. Hull struggling to get out of their own half. Start of this second half. Bateman with a solid run again.
What a game he's having.
He gets rid of the ball as well, finds Powell. Powell bounces off a couple, he then gives it to Mossop. Mossop surrounded by purple jerseys.
Well, they've got to utilise the dummy runners, Wigan. They failed to do that in the second half. Now it's on. Oh, come out of the line, you're always going to find trouble.
That's very well played.
Did it ever?
That's a great play.
Unbelievable tap back. And Mark Sneed, he'll just go down. He knows how important it is now just to make sure they just calm things down, especially the man behind him, the captain, Danny Houghton.
Kick is gliding into the corner. Winger's beaten, has to stretch his hand out. Look at that, knew exactly what he was doing because Mark Sneed was sweeping around behind him. It's a great play.
Yes, Curtis Norton did really well then. Not only did he get up to reach the ball, but he pushed it back towards his own post as well. And as you say, there was Sneed to tidy up the pieces. They're not having it all their own way, Wigan. Good kick.
Great kick. Just short, but again, they are the tactics. Good kick by Jordan Abdul. Just turn them around, and the longer this goes on, okay, Wigan are leading by those 6 points, but the longer it goes on, the more frustrated they will become. They'll then try to force the ball, take chances, and if you do that, the risk of coming up with an error is very high indeed. This is exceptional from Hull.
They've defended their errors. That's the big thing. You'll get confidence from that. You made mistakes, you can see the penalties, but you've been able to keep the opposition out. And you grow a little after that.
I think the biggest challenge for some of these Hull players isn't the physical element, more of a mental one. It's a test of the concentration. You know, the game's a little bit quicker than they'll have often played. And obviously now when we get towards 50 minutes plus, they've been out there for a long time, testing themselves, being in the right place at the right time and making the right decisions will be what Wigan repeatedly ask them as they're going to shift this ball eventually in their own half, I think.
Well, I think Wigan have to go back to basics, you know, get the big fellas running like this, and that is good stuff. And quick play the ball. And you can see they're not fighting to get up and play that ball quickly.
Well, Hull are doing a good job in that they're turning them on the backs, not giving them the opportunity to get up and play quickly. There's another one, you see, Clubb, and Houghton's arm trapped underneath him.
But Eddie,
eventually to Powell.
There's no urgency in it. That's a great kick.
It is by Williams. Oh, and it's ricocheted everywhere. It's picked up. And here is Powell. He'll slide home.
Should be given.
It's not given. What is their decision on the field? That's the question. They've got a try on the field.
Well, it was
see how the ball came free, do they, Stuart, first of all?
They're looking for interference on the Hull fullback on Jamie Shaw as the ball came through. I think it's as three of them go to compete for the ball. They're all onside there, so we're going to play on from that. The ricochet around here, how does it come free? Well, I think he goes to challenge for the ball. I think that's fair enough. I think everything's play on from there. It ends up behind the man who played it last. And certainly no problem with the grounding. His momentum takes it over. Does he keep possession of it as it goes over? That might be something that we want to have a look at. There's certainly nothing up to the grounding. This is the point. He's going to look to see if there's any interference. I don't think so. He just misses the ball. Both of them challenging for the ball. Goes behind Farrell. And then it's straight through to the try line. Again, grounding looks okay. Looks like he's retained possession all the way to the line. Momentum slides him over. No double movement in that. Fails to do what he does. To keep possession and ground the ball properly.
Oh, he's lost it. Oh, has he lost it? Is that deemed to be in control? I'm not right sure.
No, that's not. There's no control there. The ball's been knocked out by Danny Hall. I think we'll get no try on this, but it may well be a penalty to Wigan, 10 metres out.
It's knocked backwards by Danny Hall. What does he not play on then? There now to see whether Sam Powell's left hand is actually grounding the ball.
But I don't think that ball will be grounding in that situation.
Why? You'll need a finger on the ball.
You do, but I don't think that's his finger.
So that try is chalked off.
Mystery finger.
And he's giving a knock on and a 20-metre restart here.
Well, it's becoming unusual, isn't it?
That's got to be a steal from Danny Houghton. It's got to be.
Yeah, and it's amazing. Last week, little Pinky was given.
It's also 2-on-1, by the way, that ball steal, but it hasn't been deemed to be a ball steal by the video referees.
They've obviously deemed that as a loose carry.
Yes, they've said a knock-on, so 20-metre restart, which is why Minicello is where he is now.
Well, total confusion amongst the video referees.
Well, not amongst them, amongst us up here. That's the confusion.
Eddie, we've been doing that for years.
You can't take credit for confusion when it's nothing to do with us. This is Abdul.
Tell you what, he was nearly away there as well. Good job that Club just got to him.
Oh, Houghton changes the direction of the attack. Abdul again dabs the ball through.
Liam Watts, I think, Eddie, wasn't it, who ended up with the ball on the last tackle?
Liam Watts is there, that's him, yes it was.
It's not a bad result at the end of the set, really. They've just about saved a try. They've got to the other end of the field, which they've not been that good at doing, but with Nicky Payer and Liam Watts back on the field, they're certainly making more ground.
Your goal's got to be keep Wigan within inside their half when they kick the ball at the end of the set, if it comes to a kick at the end. Don't give a penalty away, restrict the yards from Wigan. You got a great chance of returning the ball back into their half.
Well, Mickey McAloram's out there, and no doubt Sean Wayne has said, let's sort things out, and he's the type of player that can do that. So they're running from dummy half. He'll add a lot more vim and vigour, that's for sure. James Child, the official, not going to be kidded by that.
He said that McAloram was milking that situation. No penalty. They're still inside their own half. Wigan, it's a good win, this, by Hull in the defence. And the kick straight to Curtis Norton. Well, they're very enthusiastic, aren't they, in the tackling, the whole youngsters.
That's exactly what Lee Radford said during the week. It's what he wanted from them. He wanted the senior players to step up to the mark, and he wanted the young guys to bring some energy and bring some enthusiasm. One of them out there, Jordan Abdul, he still turns up every Monday to play touch rugby league at Hull FC, Eddie. He's enthusiastic. The Hull FC fans will look forward to seeing many more times in the Hull FC jersey.
And he gets the ball away. Here comes Jamie Shaw again. He's always a danger, and so is this fellow Norton. It's opened up for Curtis Norton. Oh, he just stuttered with the run. Maybe wasn't confident he was going to get through the hole before the cover tacklers came across.
Well,
that's what they did. Here is Sneed again, kicks it wide. Oh, and he couldn't take it in. It is a knock on.
Well, the idea was good, but again, this Wigan defence all over the shop, and it's a good job that Ben Flower came flying in. Not on this particular action that we're seeing the replay, but it was the build-up to that.
Was this just a lack of confidence by Curtis Norton here?
He did look to slow up a little, didn't he?
Look there's the hole.
And watch Flower, bang! He didn't miss him. Good job he was there as well. It looks as though he was going to race over the line. Boy, that would have put the cat amongst the pigeons.
I mean, when you're running down there, you do assess the situation, you check it, you've got your peripheral vision, you know the cover defenders, you can see them and assess very, very quickly. And that's the skill of these players, whether or not it's worth trying to pin your ears back and go, whether you look for a different option. So you'd back the play on that occasion.
Ben Flower goes down, tackle number 4. Will stand up and play it to McIlaurin. This is Smith. Now Mossop. Important ankle tap that. Very important that by Mickey Payer. And Matty Smith. Arrowing it towards the corner. Picked up by Rankin. They're starting to blow a bit though, the whole players. They're all struggling to get back the right side of the ball as far as they're concerned. Some big men plodding at the moment.
That's twice on the last tackle they've kicked the ball, Phil. I wonder would they'd be better running at Wigan. Hull FC look a little right bedraggled on the edges there, and they seem to have got into the routine. You'll put a kick in on the last. I think they'll get a bit of a result if they run it.
Perhaps there's some anxiety amongst them when they walk out to the dressing room door. The last words they see on the back of it is a big clear message to build some pressure, and I think that's what they're doing. It's been ingrained for Matthew Smith here since he arrived at the club, hasn't it?
What a brilliant, sorry Phil.
And put people under pressure. But look, Hull are returning this, and I think this is the reason why we're going to start to get nervous. Hull are getting excited. The supporters are lifting in a little bit of belief here, and they've gone toe-to-toe for 15 minutes, the toughest 15 minutes perhaps in the game for the Hull side, and they're now showing that they can be competitive in this match. Very often, this could be a turning point, not only in the season for Hull, really, and obviously they won't want to make the top point, but in the career of many of the players here, this could be a very significant next 25 minutes.
And I'll add to that in the fact that this Hull side, their kicking game, is far superior than Wigan's at the moment.
Flower again trying to barge his way through this defensive line, which so far in this second half has stood absolutely rock solid. McIlaurin to Matty Smith. Here they go. Are they running this on the last? Yes, they are, because they found Ryan Hampshire. Infield it comes to Matty Smith, and Smith, well, not the best kick. Only found Mark Sneed.
And good play there by the halfback, Mark Sneed. Looks like he's got a knee in the ribs as well. The kick was good under the pressure, and it takes a lot of intelligence to just read it that way. But you just sense that there's a little bit of panic creeping into this Wigan outfit.
Well, this is a good set defensively for them so far. 13 metres gained by Hull in 4 tackles. Will they kick early? Well, they haven't got the chance because Hadley goes down on the last. They're still deep inside their own quarter. And there's Abdul. He puts the left boot through it. What a kick this is!
Rocket! Just got a bad bounce. That's huge.
Yeah, it is a shame. If it had gone the other way, that could have well 10 minutes from it. Now he's got away. Charnley
broken through 1 tackle, still going. Josh Charnley.
Quick play the ball, and they've held him down. Referee says it's okay. I'm not so sure.
Hampshire and Connor Farrell. It was good work actually in that tackle by Brad Fash, another of the teenagers. Here's another of the Wigan teenagers, Oliver Gildart. 3 tackles gone. They're 20 metres away, Wigan, with McIlaurin. Now Williams. Smith. Hampshire. Short ball. Gelling. Can he get the ball away? Yes. To Charnley. Into the centre of the field to Smith. He's cut down by Hadley. Scrambling defence from Hull. McIlaurin will have a scamper at them. And they'll push him back.
Do they ever? Boy. Wonderful stuff there. Minicello just dumped McIlaurin. There's got to be a kick into the corner. Oh, they've got a window. Brighton pinched missed it.
Has Bateman come up with a try? If he has, it's his second.
Yeah, this will be given, surely.
Handing it upstairs. They'll give it up as a try. Just wants to check the grounding.
There was quite a strong report from the touch judge that he felt that perhaps there was an issue with the grounding. He was actually wanting to give it no try. With James Childs closer, he's decided to go with try. They're all onside from the kick. I don't think there's any problem with this part of the play. Just a lost ball from Hull. What happens on the grounding? Not an issue.
Well, Abdul certainly touched the ball, so therefore they'd all be onside, wouldn't they, Stuart?
That's right. Well, everybody was onside anyway, chasing the kick. I think the video referees might look at is this sort of tackle without the ball.
Yeah, maybe Abdul is...
Flower.
But what's your thoughts on it, Stuart?
Well, it's tackled without the ball, so I think
No penalty.
Fairly straightforward penalty, really.
This should be wiped off then. Flower certainly has got to the body of Jordan Abdul.
Well, this is taking the interest of the video referees now. Now, does he stop him going for a play? I think he's going for the ball. He's taken out.
That's a penalty.
It's fairly clear from that angle that this will be no try.
That's your view, gentlemen, up here. We've been proved wrong once or twice. The gentleman I'm referring to, Mrs. Cummings
Stewart's view.
Stevenson. Was that a tackle without the ball? Bateman waits, they all do.
I agree, no try.
No try is the decision.
Well, there's a very big relieved Stuart Cummings up here. Sean Wayne can't believe it, but I think, in all honesty, Jordan Abdul, even though he makes a meal of that, is prevented by Flower to diffuse the situation. Good positioning, though, by John Bateman. Is having a fine game. Well, Sean, I think when you see it again at the end of this game, I think you'd have to agree that the officials have got it right. We've panned the video referees a couple of times tonight, but they've got it right on this occasion.
So tackle without the ball. It is a penalty to Hull right on their own line. Nice kick through by Matty Smith. Fumble by Jordan Abdul. And then, well, Ben Flower couldn't hold a board meeting, could he? He possibly thought that Abdul had the ball in his hand anyway, and he made the tackle. Super 8, the qualifiers. Hull KR Bradford tomorrow at 3, Sky Sports 5. Hull KR just a win away from getting back to Super League next year. And the Catalan Dragons take on Leeds 2 hours later in Perpignan. 5 o'clock in the same place.
Great tackle by Ben Flower there, penalising that occasion. He's tearing in now.
And again, Bateman himself about. It's obviously been a smart move by Sean Wayne to put Bateman to play more down the middle. What a wonderful, he just moved, didn't it? He did well there, did Burgess.
He's just still moving. He plonked his foot on the other side of the whitewash, so that deems that it's run dead. Was actually going to, I think, was going to stand up in the in-goal area.
Yes, it was.
Fabulous
good
kick.
play. Yeah, good play by Burgess.
Very negative, that though, isn't it? It really is. It doesn't reward. It doesn't reward the great kick.
I'm with you on that one. But you and I have fought the battles long and hard to change rules.
Well, never mind.
And they completely ignore us.
Don't blame them for
campaign
that.
going. Change the rule on that.
Smith, good ball. Tompkins is away. He has the confidence to take on Jamie Shaw and flick it out of the back of his hand to Charnley. And I think numbers have beaten them.
Cannot get it down. Boy, you've got to give this whole side a lot of credit tonight.
Such enthusiasm for them. I mean, that's what youth brings. It brings enthusiasm.
And being written off brings it as well sometimes. And I think there's a bit of that that's stoking their fires tonight.
Look at this. Look at this from Ben Flower.
Sheer strength. And boy, you can see how much it means to this Wigan outfit.
And the relief amongst the supporters as well. A try for Ben Flower, only his second of the season, but an important one. 2-2 for Ben Flower too. He's save the try scoring for these Super 8s.
And good play by the prop forward as well. Remember, he's the man that gave away the penalty. When it looked like John Bateman had gone in for his second try, it was definitely obstruction on Jordan Abdul. But you could see when he wanted this. Look at this, Abdul, you did it wrong. 0 time. Then comes onto it like an express train, and it becomes hero time. And what a time to score it as well. While the Wigan nerves were jittering, and a sheer utter body strength. What a fend. What a fend. Fantastic. He's every right to enjoy that.
And he did, Ben Flower. 17 times a Welsh international, and his 15th appearance of the season. Try against Catalan last week, try here this week. And so Ryan Hampshire now with the opportunity to add the extra 2 if he can, which he does. So 24-12.
He's talking about redemption amongst players. They're big Billy Boston, one of the greatest ever to play for the Wigan Warriors. Good to see him immortalised in bronze outside the Wembley Stadium last week. Stevo, you were down there for that.
Yeah, fantastic, but also another great winger that played for this wonderful club, Wigan. His name was Mick Sullivan, and they're bringing out a book on the history and the career of one of the great wingmen. What a great man he was. Went on several tours. Fantastic player. I urge you all to dig deep. It's a fantastic read.
Ryan Hampshire 4 from 4 tonight. I think it was in the game here against the Catalan Dragons, where he had an absolute shocker with the boot.
You're right.
Coming to the game, and
He'd only kicked 7 from 17 going into tonight. 40% success rate tonight. It looks like a real quality goal kicker, doesn't he? Worked hard, the kicks have gone over. John Bateman for me, though. I know Mike has to pick the man of the match. Would have to be a strong contender at this point.
Well, I wouldn't give you odds on it, Phil, because he has been outstanding.
Well, that was touched by a Wigan player, says referee James Child. I think the Wigan players were convinced this came off Jordan Rankin.
Well, either way, it went backwards.
Referee saw it differently.
And Hull FC are in attack. They won't worry about it.
Minicello. Bateman again with McIlaurin and Flower bringing down.
Not so sure he got a hand to that.
Well, maybe it was the way the referee saw it, and that's maybe why Wigan held off the players who were in front of the ball when it was passed. Otherwise they would have been offside.
And that's the reason why we're up here and not out there with a whistle. Thankfully. Well, they can't just rest on the laurels, Wigan.
Oh, they can't.
Brad Fash
and here
is
goes
through.
Brad Fash. Last tackle here for Hull. Oh, penalty to Wigan for a push off the ball. Was that by Jack Logan? He pushed the marker out of the way, says the referee. Brad Fash was all over the place, and then yes, it is Logan. He just pushed him out of the way, Ryan Hampshire.
I think that's a bit harsh. We've seen that. We've seen that so many times. They just wanted to get on with play the ball quickly.
That's the referee's job to get him off there, Steve-O. The penalty is quite a common one, was correct on that occasion.
Yeah, you could sense Logan's frustration, but you can't do that. McIlaurin then for Wigan, deep inside Hull territory again. Conor Farrell.
It's important now that Hull just try to keep them off, because if Wigan get a sniff of another try, they will just take so many chances. And you can see the defence from Hull, they're hanging back. As I said, fatigue was always going to be a problem in the final quarter.
Williams with a kick out wide, looking for... Oh, well, he was looking for Josh Charnley. There was a fingertip there from Curtis Norton.
That'll be a drop out underneath the sticks. Norton just got a fingertip to it.
I think just that's the video referee just to check this.
Yeah, I think
see whether he got a touch to it. Yep,
he
there
did.
it is.
If he hadn't, Charnley might have scored.
That's twice now. Curtis Orton has come to the rescue of Hull FC. Josh Charnley.
It touched Josh Charnley, Brian.
It might have done. They've given it against Horton, or Orton, I should say.
Norton.
No, I think you'll check his jersey, Eddie. It's Orton.
I think it just touches his thumb, doesn't it? So it's back off.
It's a goal line dropout.
There we go again. Goal line dropout.
That's Eogan then.
Well, there's quite a few. I don't know who's doing the ironing out on the East Coast there, but there's quite a few. I think that you look at Jordan Abdul, he's Buddul.
Well, look, I'm not into crosswords, but boy. Well, they probably had to find so many different letters this week to iron on the back of jerseys. I'm not saying that Abdul's and Logan's were two of them, but you know what I mean.
Wigan now have to play to do one thing: please their coach Sean Wayne. That was a bit high on Flower, and they can only do that by scoring quite a few tries now.
Taking the 2.
Well, I can't believe this.
Well,
that's
you've got a 14-point
first,
lead, doesn't it? You've effectively won the game here with this kick.
Hang on, they're chasing a better point record from Leeds, and they're taking the 2.
I don't think they are here after 65 minutes.
Well, you have to say, whatever the outcome of this match here tonight, however many Wigan score, however many Hull score, at this moment in time, does Charnley get a touch on that? It's very conjecture.
It's very difficult to see.
Certainly Curtis Norton does. Does he?
Oh, it's
Charnley, I'm not sure.
It's hard to say.
I was just going to make the point that when they last played these two sides, Hull with a much, well, on paper, stronger team as the penalty is kicked. In round 23 of the regular season at the KC Stadium, Wigan won 48-12. Only 5 weeks ago. You have to put that scoreline and this scoreline into context, I think, in the way that things have panned out for Lee Ratcliffe and his team tonight. They're probably going to lose the game. We thought that from minute 1, but he must be so proud of the effort from this young side that he's turned out here tonight.
Yep, he will be as well. And
good effort, good try.
Got off the short one. That was worth a try, wasn't it?
Tried it last week as well. It's like a shot to the sideline, isn't it, to get the ball to bounce over and go out of play, but did more for him.
Did well though, did Gildart.
He was moving pretty quickly. Bateman, the man though who plays the ball, and Talima Tautai is back out there now for the last 13 minutes. Flower. Tompkins. Say they have defended incredibly.
Yeah, the youngsters have really stepped up to the plate. Shown a lot of desire, worked hard.
Oh, nice pass from Williams. Gildart. That's only so far. Last tackle here then for Wigan. Smith. High and into the corner for Norton to deal with, or for Charnley to get off. Charnley, knock on.
That's a knock on.
So that will just come back. he gave the ball to Gelling.
Gelling knew that it won. Yeah. Well, it amazed me that they went for the 2 points. And at one moment there, I had a little bit of flutter on the heart. I thought,
he's going to go.
They go for a field goal, dearie me. About, Gambit.
14 points. It won't do much to dent the Leeds Rhinos' superior points difference. This.
Well, when Wigan have their meeting with their coach Sean Wayne, you can guarantee that he will pinpoint all those breaks that this whole side have enforced against the defence. It's been slack at times. They're going to win this game, that there's no doubt.
Oh, Liam Watts has brushed away from a couple, and he's got Jamie Shaw. Oh, Jamie Shaw's pulled a hamstring. Jamie Shaw's pulled a hamstring. It might not matter. The ball was out to Logan, and he gets to within a metre or so of the line, and that is a terrible blow for Shaw.
It said it is, and it was a definite try, wasn't it?
Sneed with a kick wide. It might be a try.
Brilliant.
It is a try for Rankin.
Absolute brilliance there. No doubt in James Childer's mind.
Fantastic kick from one side of the field to the other. Rankin underneath it, dots it down in the corner, and Hull will not go away. And maybe that's why they took the 2 points that were on offer, Wigan.
You think about the number of chances Hull have had here today and gone so close to scoring. We will feel a little disappointed with probably the end result. There's still 10 minutes to go. Liam Watts does well, doesn't he? He's been in strong play for them this season. He's played well tonight with determination. They've got held up again close to the line. But the vision here is one thing. The skill to execute that kick. It's a hole in one. All he has to do is rely on Rankin to catch it, and it's 4 points.
Well, it was good quality. And you could see there that Wigan knew they were well and truly out of position. But what about the break from Liam Watts?
Jeez.
Maybe it was just a tweak, but that's... Well, you'll know more about that, Brian. It's I never pulled a hamstring in my entire career.
Absolutely no chance after doing that.
Yeah.
Now he's coming off the field. They'll have to reshuffle now. Well, here we go, Sneed.
Can he add the extra 2 points here? We talk about respectability. How respectable is this scoreline for Hull tonight?
It's amazing, and fully deserved as well, their respect.
Great kick again. Mark Sneed. Great kick.
Let's rewind, Eddie, back to the start of this game as we see Jamie Shaw, who's been good for them, off left hamstring, gone. Backing up a break from Watts. Lee Radford look on. 10 minutes to go. He's down 2. Lynham's gone. Shaw's gone. You see number 20 just pulled the hamstring. Watts, though, managed to get the ball away, and Sneed's kick has put them in 2 kicks, really. Kick to set up the try, kick to convert. Here we go. We'll keep an eye on who goes to full-back and what sort of a finish Hull FC can give us.
Well, we're inside the last 9 minutes.
Well, to be fair, Eddie, this is the quietest Wigan home crowd that I think I've heard.
Oh, look at
many
this.
a time.
Here they come again. And it's that man once more. Norton. Houghton.
No, it's gone too far.
Oh, it hasn't, you know. Fantastic from Logan.
Unbelievable.
Second try from Logan.
This is unbelievable. Well, I thought, what on earth are Wigan doing taking the 2? This could actually win them the game.
You're probably looking at a team now that believe, as they run back because of that man's try, they believe they can win this game. Set the scene again. 34 points they were getting from professional autopilers, and this is the result that they've got. Danny Houghton's kick.
They were very slow, but Brian, in regards to the play the ball area, and the kick was superb. This is unbelievable. Good work from Danny Houghton. Slips it through. Charlie can't believe it. We all thought it was too strong. This fella didn't. His name's Jack Logan. And he sent the home crowd very, very quiet indeed. This is amazing.
Look at the faces on the Wigan supporters. They cannot believe what they are watching here. Houghton's kick, setting up the try for Logan. This kick from Sneed to get them back to within just 2 points. Remember, they only lost here early in the season, 13 points to 12. 2-point ball game it is, and we've got 7 minutes plus remaining. There will be thousands of Hull supporters who will say in years to come, we were there.
They've got absolutely nothing to lose here now, aren't they? They're a dangerous team to play against. And Wigan are almost, I think, feeling as though they've lost the game, even if they were on to win it by 2 points because of the issues you spoke about, Brian. The handicap that Hull were given a chance here. They need some players here, though, with that faster play of the ball. Somehow break into a couple of tackles as Paliasina is engulfed by 3 bodies.
Fitting that try was set up.
Oh, that's
no.
What on earth has he done there?
It's got to be a card.
He's got to go for that, I'm sorry. The card has got to go out.
It's got to be a sin bin. To educate the people who watch the game here and play at amateur and schoolboy level, you can't pick people off the floor like that. It's dangerous.
Well, not only that, it's just, It's stupidity to put your hands on the thread.
Well, it's Tautai that caused the problem. He's the one that's lifted him up. Can't rely on the other people just to keep him off the ground.
Ben Pomeroy got an instant red. Stuart, your thoughts on this, what the referee should do? He's called him over.
Well, I think he should certainly take some action, probably a yellow card, because it's difficult on field to actually work out who is responsible for it. Give him 10 minutes, but I'm sure the match review panel will look at this a bit stronger, perhaps. But that certainly takes him out of this game, so Hull are getting some benefit from it.
Well, not only that, by his actions here, he's allowing Hull now to get 30-40 metres downfield. That is shocking. I'm sorry, there's no excuse. We can't afford to have that in our game.
That could have been a lot worse.
So most certainly.
Well, thankfully he's still on the field. Eddie's probably going to take a run. I want to reference Danny Houghton as we go into the closing minutes. I thought he's been enormous for Hull FC in this season, along with Minicello, and in this game in particular. One of the real standout nines in this competition.
Well, Wigan now with 12 men, and suddenly Hull believe that they can do this, and Minicello gets up off the ground because he wasn't tackled properly.
Well,
6 minutes to go.
The sheer panic in the Wigan defence.
This is Abdul.
They've got to stand firm. They're falling off the tackles. They're screaming. Sorry, Eddie. They're screaming at each other, the Wigan defenders.
Watts gives it to Sneed. Sneed gets it wide. Here is Rankin. 4 tackles gone. They're only 8 metres away, though, a Hull. As Norton gives it to Sneed again. He slides the kick in. It's ricocheted. Oh. And Ryan Hampshire to the rescue for Wigan.
Yeah, you got the ricochet, and he just got that lucky bounce. Matty Smith went down. They've got to try now to make sure they can either pinch this ball, don't give away a penalty, be a relieving one for Wigan.
It's not a bad... Bear with me on this. Wigan have found themselves in a position here where they're 2 points up. There's 5 minutes to go. It's tight and they're not playing well. It's a tight game for them, and they got to learn to close this out. And close it out if they're going to go on and win the game at Old Trafford at the end of the season. It's a difficult position they find themselves in now. And Sean Way will learn a lot about his team in the next 5 minutes.
Another solid run from Bateman. Here is Matty Smith with a deep kick.
Yeah, that's a good kick.
It's going to run dead. It's going to run dead.
It doesn't matter. He knows that they can get on that 20-metre line. They'll get that defence on the 30. And thankfully, they've given the nod to make sure that Ryan Hampshire is way back downfield. As we could get a little chip over the top. There's still quite a few minutes remaining. They don't really have to panic, Hull.
So Mickey Payer doesn't look like there's much reaction from that lift by Tully Matautai.
Well, they want to get the ball to the right centre, don't they, Jordan Rankin? He's the man with the pace. They think they can do the damage. One more pass could have seen him in possession.
Abdul goes down. Oh, yeah. And he's hurt as Jordan Abdul.
Well, Ben Flower came in right into the rib cage. Boy, that was very forceful indeed. Oh, they've got the overlap here.
They have. It's Logan again.
What a fine game he's had. Heavily supported as well by the other centre, Jordan Rankin.
And there is Rankin. Into centre field to Mark Sneed. It looked like he might have gone forward from Sneed, but the referee allows him to play on. Gildart with an important tackle. So here they come, Rankin. High kick, and now the chase. Here comes the cavalry, but there is Gelling.
Wonderful take under pressure. Oh, what on earth is he doing? Oh, Sean Wayne will be kicking everything in within his vicinity.
He's getting you and all the Hull supporters excited. Hull are down a man at the moment, though. Jordan Abdul was injured in a tackle, so they're down at 12 as well.
What on earth was he thinking? Sorry, Phil, but what on earth was Gelling thinking of?
I don't think he thinks. He just does.
Tompkins. They are piling in Hull. We've got 2.5 minutes remaining. There's only 2 points in it. And Hull think this is here for the winning in the last 2. They've reached the 5th tackle. It's fantastic set defensively again from Hull. But that's a good kick. That's an excellent kick. Michael McAlorum.
Yeah. The experience showing there. Didn't want to put a pass, didn't want to take the risk that they came up with the error. He knows how important it is.
Tautai is in the sin bin. He will not play any further part in this match tonight.
Well, this is where I would inform the outside backs we're going to kick from the scrum base. Wigan don't have a full back. Maybe they'll send one back. I certainly would.
Well, they got Josh Charnley hedging his bets here. He's ready to go either way.
So Sneed will feed the scrum. 2 minutes remaining. They come down the short side with Sneed again. And don't forget, you can discuss all of this with Phil at full time on Twitter at Sky Sports RL, #AskSkyRL. I think there'll be plenty of debate about what we've seen here tonight as Abdul takes them on again.
They're just looking for that one missed tackle, and Wigan have done quite a few of those tonight.
Sneed, there's another one, and Sneed dabs it over the top, finds Logan. Logan then off the outside of the boot, and Wigan drop on the ball gratefully, and that will probably see them home, Matty Smith.
Yeah.
Who did Mark Sneed just get rid of there? I didn't have him there as the strongest on the field, but I think it was either Joel Tompkins or Tony Clubb. He just flicked away. They're throwing everything they have into this game.
Well, they'll be playing the ball extremely slow. They know how important this is.
Well, it is important in terms of the victory will take them level on points with Leeds ahead of tomorrow's game in the south of France. But the scoreline doesn't do them any favours whatsoever. And it's now a 0 tackle we have here.
Back to 6.
And Bateman.
What a game he's had.
Wide they go to Gildart, further wide to Burgess. Burgess will defend off, gets the try that seals the win. There is relief around this ground.
Did his legs play? Did he touch the whitewash out wide? That's what he wants to find out. I think he just got it down, but it's pretty close.
He's going right the way back to the start of this because he called a 0 tackle.
Well, they're going back to check to see whether there was 2 knock-ons, one from either side, which obviously would negate the play. I think there's the first knock-on as the ball's knocked out. What happens after that? That's knocked forward by Hull. And then I think it's quite comfortably picked up there. I think that's play on from there. So everything else should be okay. Should be down to the grounding after that.
So nothing wrong here, nothing wrong there. Gildart feeds Burgess, and Burgess, well, we know that he gets this down cleanly enough. And his feet are in the field of play, and that's a try. That's the winning try.
Yeah, that's a game, but it was pretty close. Norton tried his damnedest, pulled off the shorts, but didn't prevent him from the try. Nice finish for Joe Burgess. But boy, they have struggled.
They have to get the try from Burgess. He now goes clear at the top of the Super League try-scoring charts, 22. Tom Lynham off the field for much of this game. And Jermaine McGilvery, the coordinate of this throwdown to you now on Sunday when Huddersfield take on the Warrington Wolves. Final siren sounds. It's either a 4-point or a 6-point win, and it doesn't dent Leeds' points differential one jot.
Yeah, good offload, and a great game by Bateman tonight. He's been outstanding, and Burgess will have enjoyed this. A good return, a good finish to seal it. Can this man add the extras?
Hampshire 5 from 5, 100%. Can he go home with an unblemished kicking record? No, he just puts it the wrong side of the post. But time's off, time's up. And Wigan have won. 30 points to 24. 54 points in the match. A lot of people coming here today thought it would be 54 points the winning margin. for Wigan when you look at the two sides on paper. 7 youngsters in the whole lineup, all of them teenagers or just over the age of 20, but they have made Wigan struggle and fret and fight for these 2 points. At the start, it's not a question of who, for a lot of people, it's a question of how many. At the end of the day, it's a 6-point victory, and that is all. Lots of credit for the Hull youngsters. Wigan will be happy enough that they've joined Leeds on the same number of points at the top of the table, but the margin of victory, they believe, should have been, and that's what they were hoping for, a lot wider than this. There's the man of the match. He's been brilliant tonight. John Bateman is the man of the match in association with Prostate Cancer UK, and he is talking to Andrew.
John, congratulations, but that was one of those ones that you can't wait for the whistle to go at the end.
Yeah, it was a tough one. I think we made it hard for ourselves with some mistakes and stuff like that, I think, but that's the 2 points that we needed and we got it, so we ground it out and it was a good win for us.
You knew that was going to be tough, even though they really, in effect, had nothing to play for in the Super 8.
Yeah, we spoke about it, they were blooding some young kids, and I think the kids really stood up for them, to be fair, and we said that, and I think it was a really tough game for us, and I think we got us 2 points in the end, well deserved.
There was a hint there when Matty Smith went for the penalty rather than running it that you thought you really need to get these points in the bag.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was a bit of argument about why we were doing it, but in the end I think it was a good decision to go for 2 points and obviously got us a win there.
And that sits in Talon's next.
Yeah, big game next week. I think we'll have a big week building on that, and I think we'll take it in the next week, so it'll be good.
Congratulations, John, man of the match. Lee? I was just going to ask Lee to come in now. Lee Radford, coach. Well, it wasn't a win, but in lots of ways that was a victory.
Yeah, well, you know, I was really pleased with the effort and really pleased with how the young players played. In particular, obviously disappointed not to win the game, but that's been the story of our year. We're nearly there, and I think, you know, for us as a club and me as a coach and them as a group of players, you know, we've got to turn that nearly into a do, and that's that's what we want to do. That is the aim of the club.
You expected a lot from those youngsters today, and they delivered, didn't they? They did.
They really did. You know, in terms of energy, I thought it was fantastic. There was a couple of, in collisions you could see some of them was, physically a year or two away, but we had no choice but to get them out there, and, you know, they didn't disappoint. They're a fantastic side, Wigan, they really are, and, I think they'll make a real push for the grand final, and, you know, for us to come here in the circumstances which we did and put a performance like that, and I'm really pleased as a coach.
It was a loss, but well done.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Lee. We've next got Sean Wayne. Sean, you called it before the start of the game. You knew that they were going to bring this game to you.
Yeah, that was a difficult game to play when they've got so many changes, an 18-man squad and all them things combined. We was a little bit disruptive, but I thought they played with the spirit what the coach used to play with. Lee Radford, great player, and they played with a lot of spirit. You know, I take my hat off to them. They were very, very good, and we didn't concentrate 3 minutes before half-time, and I think that cost us. You know, they didn't really deserve that, and we were poor. You know, defensively, patchy, we were poor, but, you know, we've had some disruption. We'll be better next week.
Next week is the important one, is it? Against St Helens, you've got to get those 2 points and keep pushing for that top spot. But things you've got to turn around after this game.
Oh, yeah, I was Wigan in a sense. You know, the captain's talking it up about a good day, and they're a fantastic team, very well coached. It's going to be a massive challenge for us. But they talk about they're building that game up. It's going to be a massive game for everybody. You know, but we'll be ready. We'll train well, and it's a Wigan Saints derby.
Thanks very much for your time. Thanks, Sean.
Level on points at the top. They're already looking forward to next week and the date with St Helens at Lantry Park. Sean Wayne, the Wigan coach. Well, he'll be happy enough with the victory, but he won't be happy enough with the margin or the manner in which it was achieved, I fancy. Hull gave them the fright of their lives, and in the end, the youngsters just came up short.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of the Super League on Sky Sports.
Sometimes we say the wrong things, like, you can always swap them for a larger pair if they're too tight. Or asking, do you want a seat, when a woman's not even pregnant. Or saying, look at that pile of junk, and then realize it's their car. But hey, one day, we'll say the right thing.
Sprite?
My type of man.
Sprite, the truth is refreshing. Also available Sprite Zero. Zero sugar, 0 calories, 0 compromise.
The biggest superhero movie of the year can be yours. Now with exclusive content. Avengers: Age of Ultron on Blu-ray and DVD.
What you need is a real ham in your kitchen. Not some pretender pumped full of added water for the weigh-in. What you want is a ham that's all ham. No added water, just added ham. So, to all you drippy wannabes sweating it out there in the shelves, make some room. Real ham coming through!
Brady Family Ham, the ham other hams wanna be.
Time is the overseer of all things. It sees men build their kingdoms. It sees them become legendary. Will you build an empire that lasts forever? Game of War. Play for free now from the App Store.
So you keep up the ball to show you're keeping up the fight against men's cancer with Blue September.
I'm not with you.
We're gonna have to do this again, aren't we?
Yeah.
First there was a really big bang. So by playing Keep You Up and making a donation, you help Blue September fight men's cancer.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, 1. Maybe stick to the online version.
Well, that's good.
Keep up the fight against men's cancer at blueseptember.ie. Proudly supported by VHI Healthcare.
Introducing Hive from Bord Gosh Energy, the little miracle that lets you control your heating from your phone. Like giving your heating a tweak while conquering a small peak, or flicking on the hot water while you're whizzing around with your daughter. Because with Hive you control your heating from your phone. You love nudging down the degrees while you and Granny are swinging through trees or switching the heating on while racing your mate Swift John. Because with Hive you control your heating.